Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, treasure looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face.
Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
On
with it.
Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion,
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
where you are the judge.
Good to have you join us again. The program is still Core Digest Extra on Core TV News. Well, my name is still Omotayo Alo. It's good to have you stay with us till this time. Remember when I started the program, I said today is actually going to be a continuation of the series we started last week. And if you were with us last week, we actually had a marriage counselor and a family life coach who were here to actually dissect the many challenges going on in marriages. You know, where those challenges come up, what really is the problem and ways of solving this problem. And so on the program today, we're going to continue with that discussion. But this time around, we'll actually focus more on the health problems that come up in marriage, you know, some health related challenges that actually lead to conflict in marriage and how couples should actually solve this problem. And so we have a guest who actually wears double caps because she's a veteran nurse. At the same time, she also does marriage counseling, and so she's the right person to give all the answers to the questions I'll be asking this morning. And so the topic for the program, or the program today, is really health in marriage, what you should know. There is a lot of things to know and to learn from my guest on the program today, as her name is Mrs. Tola Ajayi, a veteran nurse. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you around today.
Thank you.
Yes, and you know, it's just so coincidental and very, very trendy that, you know, while we're still looking at marriage issues, I and my colleague just reviewed the paper and we saw the issue that a popular artist is going through, Tiwa Savage, and you know, it just leaves much to be desired. But luckily we saw that one of them who actually made a marriage problem public said that she and her husband are back together, and that's Mide Owo. Yes, and so, you know, it keeps coming more often this time. So for you, if we are going to evaluate what is really happening in our society today, what do you think is really the cause of challenges in marriage that we see these days?
Thank you, Tayo. What I want to say really is there is always a problem in marriage. Either way, even pastors, everybody has one issue or the other that they deal with. But ability to understand each other, to communicate, and to deal with your issues, I think that's the most important thing, which people nowadays are not ready to do. That's probably why most marriages are on the newspaper now, which is quite unfortunate.
Yeah, you said not ready to do.
What they're supposed to
do. Why is our generation not ready to do the right thing and see the right thing happen?
What I see most of the time is initially, before you go into marriage, you have to look at the person you want to get married to. There are some issues that you know that they will never go away. If you ignore them, then you are going into trouble. And that's what I see most of the time now. People ignore a lot of things because I'm sure whatever Tiwa is going through now, she saw them before. So there are things that, of course, it's never going to go away. So you just have to deal with them. But if it became something that you can't just cope with, then it's better you opt out.
And you feel not putting it on public space is really not necessary.
Well, maybe because they are public people. Yeah.
Okay. Now to your very core now, like what health tips should people that are married, what should they take seriously, especially in marriage status? What health tips should they hold? Because so in order to actually save their marriage and make the marriage successful, what health tips should they take very seriously?
There are different things. For instance, let's look at if a man is obese, or the woman is obese, it's an health issue. They really need to look into it, because if you are not careful, the man will just drop dead one day. So that's one thing. So you really have to look at yourselves, look at what to eat. Do you exercise? Do you need medication? If you need medication for high blood pressure and you think going to church will help you solve that problem, you're wrong. So if you need medication for anything, I think you just have to take your medication. If you're obese, then you really need to do something about it. Then let's bring it to fertility, which of course is what I do. If you married late, of course you need to seek help early. And if you married as a young person and you're not getting pregnant within a particular time, maybe like a year or so, having regular uninterrupted sex, and you're unable to get pregnant, then you have to seek medical help. Oh, I need help. What can I do? So it's not something that you just ignore. And again, if some people go to the hospital and they tell the wife that, oh, your tubes are blocked. I have that recently, dealing with that with someone. The tubes are blocked. You did a test the first time and says your tubes are blocked. The second time your tubes are blocked. And you are still going to church. They're still giving you concussions to take. You are not facing the issue. You need IVF. In this modern day age, that's what you need.
Okay, now you just actually went to my mind, because that was actually the next question I was going to ask. But looking at marriage now, aside from the fact that people marry because they need a companion, people marry because they want someone who would actually assist them in making their future better. Having children in marriage is actually one very key thing that people say, if I don't have a child 1 year after marriage, then there's a problem. And so it has actually led to separation, or the husband being unfaithful to his wife, looking for children elsewhere. And so since having children has proven over the years to be a bonding factor between a man and his wife, and for your work as a fertility expert, for couples that battle with these things, how are you able to manage them, especially when the man, all the families of the man always blame the wife that you are the one not giving us children, it's your fault, you live the wayward life, which might not necessarily be true. So how have you been able to manage such cases?
It's quite unfortunate, because when a man marries a woman, it's not primarily for children. You see each other, you love each other, you want to be together. Having kids, it's an additional factor, and sometimes it just does not happen. And unfortunately, again, in our culture, because we play a lot of emphasis on children, and mothers-in-laws, families, they are not helping, because sometimes they put the blame on the woman, whereas the blame is from the man. The challenge is from the man, and they put the blame on the woman. And unfortunately, because the woman wants to protect the husband, she's not going to discuss the issues with them, that I'm not the problem here, is your son. And that's why sometimes I look at women and I say, why don't you just give this lady a break? Reverse the situation. If this child was yours, the girl, if she was yours, how will you react in this situation? And it's your child, which is a woman now that has infertility challenges. How will you react in this situation? Not minding the fact that it's your son now. So sometimes women, mothers, we really need to leave our children to enjoy their marriage, either with children or without children. We can only help them. We can only, do some things to let them cope, not interfering in their marriage, that you're unable to give my son a child, and as such you are the problem, you have to get out of the house. It's not going to help anybody. And again, for the couple, it's important that you marry your friend and communicate, talk about issues. So even if you have challenges, you will find a way to cope. If there's anything you need to do, concerning your fertility issues, please do them together, not as individual. But unfortunately, people they don't marry their friends, so it's difficult for them to agree on certain things. You cannot give me a child, I'd rather go out. But we still see some faithful ones. Whatever you do, whatever is happening to them, they carry the burden together. I married you because I'm in love with you. Whether you have a child or you don't have a child is not a big deal. We can adopt, and they stay together.
Okay.
But that will be that they're in love and they also appreciate one another.
Okay. Okay. Now, very, very important what you just said. You know, love should be the principal thing in any marriage.
Yeah.
And so, okay, for you actually said something when you were talking about infertility, that you know, if you know you are marrying late, then you should start taking very seriously what is really happening while you are not having a child. But you know, some people will just really wait and say, okay, let me wait for God's time, and you know, I trust in God. Fine, it's good to trust in God, but you know, some people have had issues not being proactive. So, if you were going to advise medically, what would be the balance here? You know, trusting in God and yet doing the needful.
It's a good thing to trust in God. At the same time, God is not going to come down to help you. If you marry at 37 years and above, please don't wait until you are a year old in the marriage before you start doing something. If you try for 6 months and nothing is happening, then please see a fertility expert. But if you marry below 37, you can still try for 1 year and see if something is going to happen. If nothing is happening within that year, then you can see a doctor. And when we talk about waiting or trying, you know, if you have your husband is not in Lagos, the wife is in Lagos, the husband maybe is abroad or is in Kaduna, and they probably meet once in a while, then that's a major challenge, because they're not having frequent intercourse as they're supposed to. You are supposed to have frequent intercourse, unprotected intercourse, and if that is not happening, then we are still not talking about fertility, because you are not doing the right thing. Until you do the right thing, that's when we know whether there is a challenge or not. So 1 year after marriage, if you're below 37, if you're 37 and above, 6 months in marriage with regular sex, then after that, do something.
Okay. Now let me digress a little, because I've heard cases of some men saying that they're really tired of sleeping with their wives because they've had sex over time and over, and there is no child to show for it. So they use this term like, why are you wasting my time or wasting my semen? There's really nothing that is coming out of this. And so for such a case, where a man believes that the regular sex is actually synonymous to, do you understand, synonymous to having a child, and even for the lady sometimes that says, you know, I'm clearly not interested in this, you understand, I just do it because it's my obligation, not like I enjoy doing it. So you know, for that kind of situation in marriage, how could...
Yes, you know, like I said, marry your friend. Sex is not just about having kids. Because even if you have the children now, let's just assume that you do not even have fertility issues and you have kids. If you have not married your friend, what happens after? You still have the companionship is supposed to be there. So sex within a marriage is not supposed to be for children alone. It's supposed to be a mutual thing between a man and a woman. You enjoy doing it. But if you are basing sex on having kids, then it's a big problem. Because even after some time, even when you have a child, then your relationship will not be where it's supposed to be. There is no attraction between the man and the woman. So it's not supposed to be based on sex, really. That's why you still see some people, even after, I admire some couples, after marriage, after having their kids, they're still in love, they still go out together, they go on holiday together. If that has not been there from the beginning, there is no way you are going to build on that when you grow up.
Okay, and so that could actually serve as an explanation why some men are detached when probably they have 3 children and they just see the wife as another property they
in
have.
the house. And that's quite unfortunate. And that's why it's important that in marriage you understand each other, you talk, you plan your future. What happens when the kids are no more in the house? You see a lot of people, you see the woman will go and stay with the grandchild when the child has a child or something, go there for 6 months, for 1 year, leaving the man at home. Hell no. That's not going to happen, and because your children are supposed to find a way to take care of their own family, not you leaving your husband behind and go after your child to care for your grandchild, because you are neglecting a part in your marriage. And that's where, if there's been a problem in the beginning, then of course you can't even do anything at that moment. But if you are together, if both of you are, you live a life of peace with one another, the husband and the wife, it's not likely that the woman will go for 6 months and 1 year because I have to go back to your father in the house. Your father is lonely, I have to go back. And that's what makes a marriage.
Now, can one relate this to any health background or the rest, where one partner in the marriage loves having sex than the other, and it becomes like a burden on the woman that, okay, I'm tired, but the husband is always demanding and the wife is not just feeling it. So can this be traced to any medical, because it's a major issue in marriages these days?
Well, some people, it's an emotional thing. Some people actually have pain when they have sex, and that should be looked into, because but that will not come in one day. That will probably be something that she's been experiencing even from the start of the marriage. So that's why communication is so important. Oh, I have this problem. Maybe we need to see a doctor, for a doctor to tell us what to do. But if the husband is understanding enough to know that this is a major challenge, there are ways that they can actually, do something about it.
Okay.
They can see a sex therapist who they can talk to about the challenges of having sex in marriage. It's not something that you should just have a burden on your own alone.
Because I've heard some men excuse their infidelity in the fact that, since my wife can't give me
what I want
per second, then I'd rather just go outside and, she's still my wife, but I just have to satisfy myself.
It still comes down to love. It still comes down to communication in marriage, because if there is a particular time in a woman's life that sex would probably become like, oh, okay, I'm not really comfortable with sex at this time, the husband should understand. And that's why when they talk about it, it will help. And there's a time in the man's life also when sex will not be appealing. The woman also should understand. But if both of them are just doing their thing without talking about it, then it's going to cause a bigger problem. That's when you see someone who has been in marriage for 25 years, you wonder, if you're able to cope for 25 years, why will a man want to go out at this age to say, I want to marry another wife because my wife is not satisfying me sexually? Don't forget, the woman is growing older, the man also too is growing older. So it's something that they should, talk about.
Okay.
And agree on what to do. There are different things that they can do to make them enjoy sex, enjoy their marriage.
Okay.
And they just need to find a common ground.
Okay. And this what brings age into it now, the age factor between two people that come together. Because if one person is thinking this way, the other person is thinking a lot more advanced.
Yes. You see, some people, you don't belong to the same generation. If, for instance, you have about 15 years gap in age, the man is probably 50, the woman is 20 something, the difference in age is much. They don't belong to the same generation. What is going to make the man happy will probably not be the same thing with the woman. The woman is still like hip hop and all that, but the man is like, okay. So probably they won't have much to talk about. But because you have decided to marry, please find a common ground. How do I satisfy this man? How will I satisfy this woman? Because you've decided, marriage is a mutual thing. You have agreed, even if you're 50 and your wife is 25.
Okay.
You must find a common ground on how to satisfy each other.
Okay. Now let's talk about this painful sex situation. It's really a challenge to most women, and of course it's the reason why they are not having children, and which translates into infertility really. So for women who actually can relate to having painful sex, and their husband really do not understand what they feel when they say, no, I'm not interested, how would you counsel this kind of people?
They need to talk. They need to see someone to express what the woman is feeling. Like I said, there is actually a medical condition that will not allow a woman to enjoy sex. But sometimes it's more of an emotional thing. So talking to someone, about it will help them. Will help the man to be able to cope with the woman, and will help the woman also to see that, okay, I really need to do something more. There are different things. There are different approaches to, solving this problem. It is a problem. And because we don't actually talk about sex in this part of the world, it makes it a lot difficult. Sex is something that you should talk about. There's no shame in marriage. It's the husband and the wife. I have this problem. I have pain when I have sex. What can we do? Okay, see a doctor. And the doctor might say, okay, maybe this is not actually a medical problem. Maybe this is an emotional thing. Maybe you need to see a psychologist or someone to just say, okay, what do we need to do? You probably need to create more fun.
Okay.
I've had cases like that. People don't have fun. They are not happy with each other. You see the man reading newspaper somewhere, the woman is busy doing something. They're never together talking about, you are in your bedroom,
Yes.
play, throw pillows at each other, do,
Yes.
different things. Your husband is having his bath in the morning, maybe is brushing his feet, go behind him, hug him at the back, vice versa also from the man to the woman. That creates a lot of fun and it becomes easy.
Yeah.
But again, if you are coming home, your husband is expecting that, tonight I'm going to do something. Then start the preparation. Talk to your wife on phone, on text. Okay, tonight just be prepared. And the woman also can make it a little bit of fun. Get yourself some nice pajamas, just nice night dresses and all that. Not the one that you just wear something that will turn the man off. The men, it's what they see. It's what they see that will make them be like, okay, I want this woman.
Yeah.
But if your wife is coming home with all the time wrapper in the house, the man is not going to be moved by anything. And sometimes maybe it's body odor that the man is like, okay, I don't know how to tell this woman that she has body odor. So women
Could it be
should
difficult
learn
for a husband to tell his wife that she has body odor?
communication.
Yeah.
Some people can't do it. It will just turn him off and he will go out.
No.
But the woman should be able to take care of her body.
Okay.
To appeal to the man. Make yourself beautiful for the man. I wore a dress yesterday. It was a bit of a short dress. And I asked my husband, is it not too short? He said no. I said, okay, if you're comfortable with it, then I'm comfortable with it. And I wore it. And I got a lot of compliments. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Do it for him. Make him feel good. Make him feel nice. And vice versa also. Yeah. Compliment your wife, compliment your husband. It goes a long way, even in sex.
Wow. And I think that's one thing a lot of married people should learn, communication. Because while you were talking, I just remembered something a comedian said that, in Nigeria here, when a man wants to tell his wife that he wants to have sex, you just like, go and arrange. And you're wondering what kind of arrangement they will have. But really, from what I grew up learning, that marriage is supposed to be something very beautiful, something that people should look forward to. And these days, people are really interested about marriage, and which has actually given rise to a baby mama thing where somebody rich can just have a young lady and say, I'm his baby mama. And I'm wondering that, okay, is marriage this boring?
Marriage is not boring. People are just not focused. You see, they just want to live a life that is not real. They just want to live a life that is not real. Marriage is not boring, unless you want to make it boring. That does not mean that there are no challenges in marriage. Two different people coming together, it's a lot of issues. You just have to deal with them. You just have to deal with them. Staying together for a year, 2 years, not to talk of 30, 40 years. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it comes in stages. When you first get married, there will be some issues. By the time you're 5 years, the issues you had from the beginning will be different from what you have when you're 5. And it will be different from what you have when you start having kids, or when your kids are grown, when they are teenagers making decisions. There are different stages of challenges in marriage. But one thing is, I'm in this marriage, I'm staying, and we're going to work it out. Communication is very, very key. And don't stop loving each other. Don't stop loving each other. That's
even when financial problem comes.
Even at that, there are some things you don't have control on. The man is not lazy. Things may just be like, okay, maybe things are not just the way they are supposed to be, but just work it together in a way.
Okay.
We've seen a lot of women who would do extra job just to keep the marriage, and the husband too should appreciate that.
All right. Okay, thank you, Ma. We'll just take a break now, but when we return from the break, we'll open our phone lines for you to be a part of this conversation. She's a nurse. Tola Ajayi also is an expert when it comes to fertility issues. So if you have any fertility related question, feel free to call the number showing on your screen just after this time out. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down. Explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
For topical issues, Nigerians must have something to say.
Arms. We don't need arms for anything. Let them put it into education.
They need to buy another arms now. What are they fighting for? Who? Government should deal with them squarely.
Please help us bring back our guests. No money, no markets. We are dying. Everybody is crying. Nothing.
Any man God support, no man stops.
It's a prophecy I believe he must have received from heaven. Yes.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Again, the program is still called Digest Extra on Core TV News. And so what we've been discussing earlier has to do with marriage, health and marriage, fertility-related challenges, painful sex and the rest. So it has to do with health, and we have a veteran nurse in the house who is both a marriage counselor, and so she has all the answers to all the questions we're asking today. And so our numbers is right there on the screen. Feel free to call in to be a part of the program if you have any fertility related challenge, or you have a question, or some issues going on in your marriage, you'd like a quick fix or an advice for a solution to actually solve that problem. Please feel free to call the number showing on your screen. And so now let's continue our discussion of health and marriage. And while we've talked about fertility and sex related challenges, there's something that comes with when someone get married. Like everybody believes that as soon as the lady's married, then she's entering into a fattening factory, where from a very slim posture, and she goes this way because she's married. And same goes to the man too. It's a very skinny man with long necks, and is married 1 year, he has a pot belly, and people are praising him left, right. Oh, she's taking care of you. But this actually comes as a problem in marriage, where each partner is thinking, this is not the person I married, is getting too big and the rest, and the man is saying, oh, you're getting too fat. But he's trying to coach, but it's a major issue in marriage. What would be your advice for such?
Well, when people get married, for the woman, most of the time is because of childbearing that they lose the shape. But again, it's still about communication. If the man is not comfortable with someone who is fat, I think it's just right to discuss with the woman to say, oh, I prefer you as a slim person. What can we do? But you see, in communicating that to the wife, it shouldn't be like you are judging her. It shouldn't be like you are condemning her. Oh, I think we need to do something about your weight. But not in a way that will make the woman to be like, okay, maybe he is not comfortable with me again. He's looking at other women from outside, and I'm no more appealing to him. And if your husband is dropping the hints, I think the woman too also should learn from it. Let's look at it. He married a slim person, but you can't continue to remain slim because now you've had kids. The hormones of pregnancy will make you fatter. So, but it's good to just, work on it. But it's a good thing for the man to let the woman understand his own point, not to judge the woman, not to condemn her, not to make her feel, like you are no more good for me.
Good for me.
Yeah. So let her understand where you're coming from, and also help her, to get away from that big posture that you really don't like.
Okay, so how can you encourage her to actually keep fit for him and look beautiful? Because if she's on the big side and she's like, I've tried so many things, I've taken some pills, it's not working, what ways could your husband come in to encourage the lady to actually keep fit and look trim for him?
Taking pills is not the solution for weight loss. It's a lifestyle change. Change your diet, exercise. That's the main thing that you can do for yourself. So if the man is going to help the woman, then let them do it together. Not that you are not supposed to eat late. The man is eating pounded yam in the night, and the woman wants to feel, committed by eating with the man. So both of you should agree, on a particular diet that you want to be on. even if the man is not fat, just for the sake that you want to you want to help the woman to get out of that stage, then don't eat late. Just find a balance with your diet and do it together.
All right. How about this myth that some men say that a man is never fat and the wife is clearly put off by the pot belly and the man is not willing to do anything to actually keep fit?
Well, it's still about communication. The man should, because once in a while the woman should let the man see the challenges of obesity. People drop dead on a daily basis because they are too fat. There is no health advantage in obesity.
Let's take this caller now. Let's take Sunday. Sunday calling us. Good to have you join us, Sunday. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
In fact, I just bumped into your TV station this morning. And I'm really honored. In fact, Colin, what the nurse is saying is absolutely correct and right. In fact, many homes are broken because of sex and communication. Communication, the husband will not say anything, the wife will not say anything, and before you know it, the man is having children outside. Because of simple to say, I'm not comfortable with this, the sex is too much, can we do it once a week or twice a week? So I really commend what the nurse is saying, and I commend this program. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Sunday. That's good. Okay, so you were saying about the husband not accepting that he's overweight.
He's overweight. Yes, it's something that they really need to talk about. Maybe the woman should get some documents that can back it up to let the man say reasons. You know that you need to do something about your weight. It's never an advantage to anybody to be obese. Never.
Okay, but in some climes, being overweight is seen as being wealthy.
It's not true. You see, let me. There was this thing that we were talking about, that when you don't have money, you know, when you don't have money, you want to eat anything. You want to get everything for yourself. You know, you want to eat anything. When you don't have money, oh, I wish I have money and I will do this, I will do that, I will eat the best of beef, the best of whatever. But the moment you have money, you know that you can't afford to eat those things. Not because you cannot afford to buy them, but because you know that it's not beneficial to your health. You know, so it's understanding. By the time you have money, you are exposed. You know a lot of things about your health
that can endanger you.
So you really don't want to go into that.
All right, let's take Tunji. Tunji, good to have you join us. Go ahead with your contribution.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very fine, thank you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I commend your program.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, what the nurse is saying is very, very true.
Okay.
I have one problem. Whenever I want to meet my wife, I'm directing my question to the nurse. That whenever I want to meet my wife, I always feel weak.
Okay.
I mean, before this thing will be up, but by the time I want to just go down, I don't know what's the problem.
Oh, well, that's a challenge. Do you have any?
There are some things that you can look into. You need probably to see a doctor to discuss this challenge. Some people, when they are on medication, some medications for high blood pressure can make you to have erectile issues.
Okay.
Some people, if they are diabetic, they can have erectile issues. And sometimes, like I said earlier on, it's all about emotion. If your wife is not appealing to you, if she's not doing things that will make you to want to have her, that can also happen. So I think it's something that you need to talk about. Probably get a doctor to talk to, and let them do something about it.
Okay.
If it's about medication, if it's about your condition, if you are hypertensive, if you're obese, this can also happen, and it can be an emotional thing.
Okay. All right. I hope that is quite helpful for you. And of course, just like she also said, that communication is very key. There are some things you could tell her that, could you do this, for me to actually make me whole.
Some people think that doing some things for each other as husband and wife, it will make you feel like an ashewo or something. No, that's not true. But you see, men, instead of talking about it to their wives, this is what I want, let's do this together.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in watching a blue film as husband and wife in your bedroom. Nothing wrong with it. Some men will do that outside. They prefer to do it with their girlfriends, but they won't do it with the wife. Whatever you can do with your girlfriend, talk to your wife about it and do it.
Exactly.
It's husband and wife in your bedroom. There's no sin in that. We spiritualize a lot of things, and it's not helping marriages.
Very correct, because these things that happen, you know, it's always very cool when they are dating, you know, when they are not married, but something just happens and marriage comes in, and like, is marriage suddenly like a cage or
it's not supposed to
so
be.
what is it, the culture, is it religion that one should describe this?
Culture, religion, both have impact on it, but really that does not make you a sinner.
All right.
Whatever you are doing yourself and your husband in your bedroom does not make you a sinner. I'm sorry, but a lot of times we over spiritualize things, and also sometimes culture too will not help. There's some things you don't do when you are married, but it was okay for you to do it before you got married. Why not now? You see some couple walking along, the man cannot hold his wife in public. Why is that so? And at the same time, I'm not saying we should import culture from another place to our place. Whatever is agreeable in our culture is what we can do, and whatever is going to make our marriage work is what we can do.
Okay. All right. Now, as we wind up the program, now we'd like to learn from you, of course, tips or secrets that has made your marriage what it is, because I see your family as one that always exhibits fun and a lot of happiness. What is the secret that has made it work? Is it because you are a medical expert and your husband is a doctor, and so you know many health tips that have made you stay strong together?
Well, I want to say that both of us, we believe in God. That has helped. We base our relationship on what God says. And again, because we see that, talking about our issues, not that we don't have our issues, we fight a lot, but we fight. We are human, we fight, but we also know that it's important for us to, we try to let some steam down. We do it together. We exercise together, we have fun together, we watch programs together. We watch, there's this new one, Jokolomisi or something that we watch at 9 o'clock, Tinsel and all that together. Those are the things that make, and we talk about some things. Like I told you this morning, we had a chat on Tiwa Savage and the husband issue, early in the morning when we were having a cup of coffee. That was what we discussed, that these are the challenges in marriage, why would this be, why would that be. So we talk a lot on certain things, and because we also understand that it's good to keep fit. And we do that together. I started on a weight loss program, and he has joined me. He helped me in that journey, and he's also helping him too. So we've been doing that together, and because we know that, we understand that it's important for us if we want to keep a home, and home based on God's word. So that's what has been helping. God first. God first. Okay. God first.
Okay, so aside from the weight loss program, you daily workouts, which is very commendable. Yes. What other health tips have you both taken as something that you shouldn't fail on, that would actually help your marriage grow and make it successful, really?
Oh, okay. Not apart from the exercise, we also watch what to eat. We just don't eat anything. We don't eat late, and so it's all about exercise, all about diets and having fun. We try to create time for socials when it's necessary. We do that also.
All right. So before we let you go, any word for those who are having fertility related challenges or currently going through, some women would have done series of tests, series of flushing of the tubes, tried so many things, and it's not still working, and the husband is still very much on her neck, and the family and everybody.
I think the first thing is to seek a medical opinion. Go to the right place. Some people are seeking medical opinion, but they are going to the wrong places. That's one aspect. And some people believe that is a church thing. I need to go to, your tubes are blocked, you are going to church. I'm sorry, I'm not saying there are no miracles, but you are wasting time. And the moment you realize that there is a problem in getting pregnant, please go out early. Seek medical opinion early, so that you are not going to get to 40 years before you start doing something. As much, whatever the problem is now will remain. For instance, if the man does not have any sperm, where is he going to get sperm from? So it's better to just do something early before it gets too late, and go to the right place. Seek a fertility opinion, a fertility doctor's opinion, not just going to any hospital. And if you go to hospitals, maybe because that's where your office is asking you to go to, and you know that maybe you are not having a headway, please seek another opinion. And read a lot.
All right, let's take Joshua now. Joshua is calling. Hello, Joshua. Good to have you join us. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Joshua. Go ahead, please.
I'm watching and I'm enjoying the program.
All right, thank you.
But I want to ask, is it what kind of talk like this is recorded and one can have access to help us, especially singles that are also hoping to marry?
Okay, I didn't get that. Could
what I'm saying that this interaction is also good for singles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that we can learn from this and make corrections.
Yes.
Yeah. I appreciate your program.
All right, thank you. Well, we also upload this program on YouTube. So if you want to review the program, you could log on to our YouTube channel to actually yes. So just go on YouTube and just type Call Digest Extra. You'd see this particular episode, so you could watch with your girlfriend or your spouse, basically.
It's okay.
All right, thank you, Joshua, for calling. Okay, read books, very key. Knowledge is key. All right. And so you just said something for those who are planning to get married, for singles who are saying, with what they see around, marriage is even something that scares them, but I hope this would not be my experience. What should they hold at the back of their hand before deciding to say, yes, I want to marry you? And the case of Tiwa also comes very strongly too. She's actually going through a tough time in a marriage,
very tough
crisis situation. So advice for young people, and of course counsel to Tiwa, who is having a marriage crisis at this moment.
For Tiwa, I don't know who advised her, because I would have preferred that it should be kept within the family. But maybe because they are social people, that everybody's, because people want to hear our own side of the story, especially when there was a story online, but I would have preferred that it's kept, in the family, and maybe for the pastors also to come in. I think it's still something that can be salvaged. It's something that they can talk about. But most importantly, if that story about the husband is true, then he needs to see a doctor. If he has addiction to cocaine, then he needs to see a doctor for the marriage to work. Anybody on drugs, the marriage cannot work. So that's just the truth. If someone is on drug in a marriage, the marriage cannot work, because he'll just be doing a lot of wrong things. So if he wants help, then he can see there's a shrink doctor around. You can see someone just to talk about your challenges. And for people who are not married, I think it's good for you to look before you leave. Don't just go into marriage because others are getting married. Look at the person you want to get married to. Look at some things in that person's life. Are there things that I cannot cope with? Because there are some things that can never go away. If your boyfriend is addicted to alcohol, he's always drinking, it can only get worse. It's not going to stop.
What if you said you promised me that it would change?
It will never change. We have seen it over and over. There are some things that people can change, but not someone is beating you before you get married to him and you think it's going to change. It's going to get worse, because there will be challenges in the marriage that will make him want to beat you more. So if someone has started beating you before you get married, please run, because it's going to kill you. Run for your life. So it's not something that you say, I'm going to manage, I love him. People talk about love that is not real. That's not love.
Okay, let's quickly take Sam, who is going to be our last caller for this segment. Sam, good to have you join us. Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Sam.
Yes. Hello, yes. I'm so happy to
Okay, I could hardly hear you, Sam.
But I really hoped we could really get to your contribution because you're going to be our last caller.
Okay, so if you could just round up what you were saying.
Yeah, so it's never going to go away. So if there's a problem before you get married, please just don't go into it, especially when it comes to certain things. Some things you can manage, but when it comes to beating, when it comes to someone drinking, smoking, and you know that this is not something that you can tolerate, then please don't go into it.
Okay.
Because it's never going to go away.
Okay.
Never going to go away.
Yeah, and so for people who actually believe in the baby mama thing,
I don't know how we got there in the first place in this country. I don't know. I really don't know how we got there, because it has always been like you are ready for marriage, you go for marriage, but people just wake up and say, I'm having a child for this guy. I'm having a child because this guy is a singer. I want to have it. Why? And what are the parents also doing? My child will wake up one day and say, I'm having a child for somebody. I'll kill her.
Okay, let's take Shola. Shola, go ahead, please. Very quickly.
If a man
Okay, what did you say, Shola?
if a man has such a man, if a man has short penis,
okay, short penis. Okay. All right, Shola, I can hear you. If a man has short penis, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Can such a man pregnant
Okay, can such a man impregnate a woman?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. You want to respond to that
The
quickly?
size of a penis will not say you cannot impregnate a woman, as long as it has erection, as long as it's able to produce sperm.
Okay.
So the size of the penis will not say the man cannot father a child.
Okay.
So unless if the size is so tiny, because some people have really tiny penis, and really there's nothing you can do. So maybe what they can do is to do IVF, and probably go to the testes to bring out semen from the testes and do IVF with it. That is if it's because there are some people that will say they have micro penis, very tiny penis. They cannot even.
What is responsible for that?
It's hormones.
Okay.
And that's the way the person has been. It's not because of what you have done or what you have not done.
Okay.
So, but if it's a short penis that can maintain an erection and can have sperm, then you can have babies.
All right. Then another thing I'd like to know is the fact that, while people get into marriage, it's good that you know some things. Usually they will advise you and your spouse go for HIV test, go for this test to ascertain. Is fertility test also part of the test that people should go for so that you could know what you're getting into when you get married?
Unfortunately, no. Church will not ask you to do that. And but you can do it if you want, but that shouldn't be the reason why you say I want to marry someone or I'm not marrying someone.
Okay.
Because like I said, it's not about having kids.
Right.
And really, even if you do tests, that does not mean that you cannot have challenges. Because the basic test probably that you're going to do before you get married is maybe, does the man have sperm? And what about the woman's hormones? Those are the things that you probably do. But there are some things that you probably not be able to see. And can also bring challenges. So if the sperm is right and the hormones are right, does not mean that you cannot have challenges. You can't go ahead and say, because I want to get married, I want to do HSG, my girlfriend should go and do HSG to check the tubes whether they are patent or not. Some things you can never see.
Okay. All right. So it's been a pleasure having you on the program. So any final words from you before I let you go?
I say no to baby mama.
Okay.
And I say communication is very important in marriages, and I also say that I think we should not stop loving each other. No matter how old you are in marriage, don't stop loving each other. And that's what is going to help your marriage. Continue to see the good things in your partner. Continue to talk about your marriage. Continue to talk about relationship. Whatever you want in a woman outside, do it for your wife. Buy her nice panties, nice night wears, if that is what you want. And for the women, please stop wearing jeans to sleep. Go to sleep without wearing things. Let your husband feel you. It's husband and wife. You are not boyfriend. You are not. It's not your what do they call it? Your boyfriend outside. Is your husband? She's a wife.
Yeah.
So whatever you want together, do it together. Watch blue movie if there is a need for it. It's not a sin. I'm sorry, it's not a sin. So
as couples,
yes, not as boyfriend and girlfriend, but as couples.
Yes.
Whatever is going to marry, help your marriage. Please do, and take time to also have fun. Go out together, watch movies, go to the cinema, together. Do things together. You can take time out and say, tonight, my wife, meet me somewhere. We're not having dinner at home. Don't bother to cook. Let's go to somewhere and have dinner. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be Mr. Biggs. You can just, even if it's meat pie, you are sitting together, looking at each other and talking about certain issues. It helps a lot in marriage.
Yeah, very good. That's so wonderful. Thank you so very much for being a part of the program.
Thank you, Talia.
I also learned a lot, and I hope you also learned a lot too. And for those who asked them fertility-related questions, I hope those answers were very apt for you to actually make some certain decisions on really. And so our name is Tola Ajayi. He's a veteran nurse, a fertility expert, and also a marriage counselor. And so thank you so very much for being a part of this segment. Call That Just Extra is not over yet, because we have the entertainment segment where I will be disclosing who the guest will be. So stay tuned on the program and we'll be right back.
For topical issues, Nigerians must have something to say.
Arms. We don't need arms for anything. Let them put it into education.
They need to buy another arms now.
What are they fighting for?
Who? Government should deal with them squarely.
Please help us bring back our guests. No money, no markets. We are dying. Everybody is crying. Nothing.
Any man God support, no man stops.
It's a prophecy I believe he must have received from heaven. Yes.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.